Hey there, welcome. Last we left off, we were animating our little girl character, getting her up and down, landing and spinning, putting in some constraints. So, I was thinking about this convoluted constraint setup that I put up. If we duplicate this sword again, what we can probably do is bring in this sword, go to animation mode, Shift 8 is the hotkey it seems. And we're going to pre-select our parent. It's going to be on the hero girl. And then we want to say weapon sheath 2. And then we're going to say, bring it back here, and make a parent, allow for dynamic moves, but we're not going to maintain the offset. That should pop it right there. And we've got a key here on our transform. Great. Next thing I'm going to do is at some point, this hand would come up and grab the sword. So let's say that's on here, frame 15. Now we're going to pre-select the parent again. We're going to say hand. Nope. Yeah, let's say the hand, right. And let's go ahead and do that. So parent, we are not going to maintain offset, and we're going to create. It should pop right into the hand. And what we want to do, get this sword rotated, and it is not rotating. So constraint active state to do documentation. Well, that's nice. See, I would expect that. What is a compensate key? Maintain offset. Should that constraint maintain the default offset? Should the child be able to change its offset dynamically? That check is checked, but like it only highlights that is checked, which is weird. So if we say the offset is 0, that's interesting. So it should pop there. Here, it's on weapon sheath. Then it pops to a hand there. You can see I'm looking up here in this blue corner, but it shouldn't still be on weapon sheath. I mean, I don't want it to be on weapon sheath, I'll just put it that way. So, how to set this to 0 here. Interesting. Oh, I changed the order. I didn't do anything. So I don't want it to have 2 constraints. I want it to remove a constraint. Kind of like spaces, like you're in one space or another. So let's see what happens if I trash this one. Oh, that's not good. I don't want to get rid of it completely. So yeah, I know we can do more than one constraint. Add a space, search. I guess if it was a rig and had a default space and a bunch of preset spaces to choose from. So I am confused. I'm trying to figure out how to set this constraint to 0, essentially. You're saying, what is an active key? Oh, look at that. Which one's active at any moment and is active now? That's interesting. Okay, it's just sitting right in front of me. So if we come here and what do we do? We right click here, it's 0. Okay, and then here, and I know there's like another key like right there. We zoom in. That should be 0. No. Let's take off snapping. Okay, it's not getting me there. That didn't do anything. I would have expected that to do something. Okay, so we're going to right here. It's 14. That's 15. Before I could take that and slide in between these keys. Now it's not doing that? That's weird. Is that it? There it is. Okay. There we are. So on this key, on the weapon sheath, I want to set that to 0. See what happens. Oh, we are scaled pretty big. Don't know why. Set that to 0. Okay, there we are. So, okay, that's following. That's good. And I animate it. Yes. Yeah. That's even better. And it should be following the hand. Why is it not following the hand? Add an active key here for the hand. Interesting. Okay. So let's turn this back on. Wherever we were, there we are. Is there a hotkey there? Probably. All right, so I got the constraint working. Can I animate it still? No. Let's right click here. See how that works. Now I can animate it. So we pop, that's expected. Now we can animate. And okay, we can land. So that way we're not using these other controllers. Normally in for game stuff, you would have a bone for this weapon to go to, and I do have that bone. But in order to control that bone in a rig, we would have to have a rig controller for it. And I don't know if there's a way for me to just take a bone that has no control on it and parent and constrain it to an object into a scene. That would be interesting. That way you don't have to set up a rig for everything. That'd be nice, actually. So here in the hands, we would want it to look correct. Let's just rotate this way. What is that? Getting a rotation there? Yeah, the rotation's all messed up. Let's move it. Put it in the hand. And in the hand again. Okay. So now we have that set up. But we still don't want it moving before a particular frame, which is before we snap. It's this one here, which should be here. Okay, there we are. Need to fix that. On that frame 15, we're essentially would be back here with the hand, grabbing the sword off the back, something like that. And then let's bring the hand back here. And we would get that sword out. Whoops. Actually, like animating in world rotation more than anything else. At the end of the day, I just will Euler fix everything. So that Euler fix is here. I guess they put a button there, so that's nice. Okay, so now we're getting our sword up. And rotation's going the wrong way. That's always nice. Not nice. Bring that sword up. And this way, kind of control that rotation where we want it to be. Over here somewhere. And then let's fix those Eulers. Those curves, I should say. And cool. So that's another way to do that constraint. So at some point we could have, say, let's call that sword constraint. And this sword is on the cube, like that. And then this sword is on the back. So if we unhide those other swords, they'll still be in the hand and still on the back. Like that. So if we ever needed like references to where they should be, makes me wonder if I can take this sword itself on frame 15 and map it frame 15 to there we go, sword cube. And I guess you can snap it to one of the bones. That's interesting. Use only all frames. Snap. That did nothing. Just didn't quite get there. Let's see if we can snap it to the actual cube. Frame 15, so snap. Yep, it didn't do anything. The word self, can we still animate you? Yes, we can. But why aren't you snapping? That would be good if I could snap it. That way I could get it exactly where I wanted it to be and line this hand up to where it needs to be with this other sword location. Just kind of eyeball it. Okay. Yeah, that flickering sucks. That's the sword cube. Then we're not using that one anymore. Okay, then sword back. So I think we're good to go. Now she's grabbing her sword. Let's just stick with that timing. That's one thing I really have never cared about in 3D animation, where you're adjusting timing and then now you have to adjust your constraints or your space switching or something like that. Or in Max, it was a link constraint. That thing was pretty finicky. So here, let's say we keep this pose here. Set a key here on everything. So let's set a key here too. And pose our character. Hopefully this sword doesn't jump around everywhere. We're landing. And I think we might be swishing. Oops. Not sure why I took that undo out. So just gonna try to work quickly here, get some poses in, not trying to make it look perfect. Let's make sure that we can see our overlay, our controls as the overlay. Kind of want to keep her cute. And ferocious at the same time. So let's see if we can do that. Maybe ferocious isn't the right word, but let's go with it for now. Setting the key here. And we'll set a key here. Where that left arm go? There we are. Grab that left arm, get it out of the way. So here I don't normally worry about at this point stretching, like putting in stretch or squash or anything like that. Just want to get my character more or less doing what we want them to do, and the action should be clear. And if it isn't, it should be clear and cool. Those are my two C's I follow. It should absolutely be clear and absolutely be cool. So I also try to think about like where we're coming from, and what sort of arc we want to have. On how the sword's moving around. It's a big head to get around. Not as big as some other characters I've animated before, with really short arms, really short necks, really huge heads, and pompadours. So wants to see more or less what we're looking for. Like I said, we don't have to be perfect here. See my anim details. Oof, I don't want that over there. Okay, we are stretching. So we're going to land. And want her to be readying up for a strike. Maybe she's already hit the strike. Might rotate this around even faster. Go back to 360. Let's say 350, almost there. This one, 360. See how that does. Okay. So here, we want her to be basically coming into strike. Getting low, getting ready for that strike. Turning and looking where she wants to deliver the blow. Deliver the hit, I should say. These controllers, sometimes your screen gets locked like that and they can't zoom in anymore. I don't know why. But if you grab a controller, frame it with F, you can zoom in still. And that kind of fixes that. This foot's coming from this way, like that. I want her to be pretty low to the ground here. But it's starting to look like she's coming up. Still spinning around. Just try to get those out of the way. Get this sword pulled back here. Really dragging that behind. Like this, oops. This, as soon as I stop deselecting it, there we go. This out here somewhere. I'm gonna put this back at 0. See how far I moved it. Because I still want that elbow. Need to create a control where I can pull that elbow joint. There it is. No matter how far we stretched it, I can still make a bend in the elbow. I had a rig that's done that before, and that was really nice. I think that was the Epic Art Tools rig. That is very old. Rig they used for Maya, I guess. I used it on a game. It reminded me of a 3D Studio Max a bit, but it was really heavy for the machines that we were using. So here we're going to be striking. So here we want our strike pose. Let's go ahead and save this. So after that, we'll need to create probably like a breakdown. A breakdown haha. A breakdown pose is where you have two extremes like this one to this one, and then we do something in between those. We do a very specific drawing. So it isn't just a normal in between like these here, which are very ugly, and the computer's just doing what it's been told to do, which is fine, but we gotta fix that. So hence the animation breakdown. So that's where that term comes from. Wants to create a cool pose in between these two poses that helps sell the action of the swing. Something that we may be able to follow, but absolutely something that fixes this ugliness right here. So she strikes back like that. Have that come out like that. Be a little too long. Get this elbow straighter. Push this back. Remember, not everything's going to be perfect here. We're just looking for something that more or less helps tell the story that we want to tell, even if it's a little flawed. Or there somewhere maybe. This is okay. So more or less trying to get that line of action showing up for the character. Let's get this pull vector out here. Get this up a little bit more. Get that head away. So depending on like how long you're going to be working in a pose, I might spend a lot longer trying to craft it and make it look really pretty and perfect. So we'll keep that now. And do want to keep this pose around somewhere. So we'll select that. There's a way to select all controls. Control Alt click to select the subtree. Control Alt click. Okay. Go to poses here. I'm going to create a pose. Squat action. Create pose. And we'll save that. And whoa. Oh, that's back there. That's why. Roots. Body. Okay, so I want everything but these two. I don't need that one. So we'll update pose. Say yes, and then we'll save it. And then we'll select controls. Okay, good. It gets those two controls out of there. But we want a good screenshot. We're going to turn off, we're going to hit G here so we can see this pose a little bit better. Let's go with this one. I guess that's okay. Side view was fine, but just a little bigger. So we're gonna capture a thumbnail, move it over just a little bit. There we are. Save. Cool. Now we got our pose, and we can select the controls. I think what you can do too is just have some of these controls selected. So we'll hit G, select this one, and then now we can key paste. So we're just pasting part of it. That's nice. And then, but what I wanted to do was take this key and hold it. So whenever I want to hold keys, I've never liked animating in step mode. I don't know, for some reason, like my brain doesn't think about it the same way it does in 2D. So whenever I want to hold a pose, I just copy that pose for the amount of frames I want to hold it. Then whenever I want to transition from one pose to another, I'll be in that held pose, and then we'll say, okay, take that amount of time to transition. So we'll select the controls here, paste. Select controls, paste pose. Huh. Well, that's just great. I don't know why I did that. That's no good. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And we'll get these just reset too. We're at it. So yeah, that is not a good pasted pose on these IK joints. Let's see if we just recreate it. And then we'll have that pose there. Clean that up there. Okay, ready for action again. Let's save that. Let's come here, clean up our Oilers. I mean, look at all this gimbling. Clean that up. Should fix it. Can't see it. What is going on with the head here? Probably some gimbling. Yes, fix that. Oh, that's not good. Doesn't wobble though. Okay. So let's get that breakdown pose in there. Right here. First thing I want to do is fix this sword. So we're going to hold that as long as possible. So we'll just key that there. I hate the way that keys that. Like it just breaks the oiler. The gimbal locks off automatically. I just pasted that key, so you can middle mouse click and then hit a key to paste it. And then I immediately have to fix it. So that kind of sucks. Okay. They had that in 5.1, probably in 5.5.4 also. I didn't do much animating in 5.5.4. Okay, so we're holding that. We're going to get the body there first. So let's come here. Let's set a key here. Keep that pose. And then we'll set a key. How fast do we want to go? Let's go real fast. I'll set a key there. Excuse me. Get this arm fixed here. There we go. Then we'll do a key here. Oh, There it goes, doing it again. Get this one out here. We're bringing that sword across. And we'll push this out more. And get all this in there a little bit. So we'll push this forward a little bit more. Rotate the torso a little bit to help. Get the clavicle in there too. And the pull vector. Make sure we get a bend in that elbow. Let's go to lit mode, lit wireframe, and kind of see what's going on more. And let's see if we can hide this atmosphere and the clouds. Then we can just focus on our character here. All right, just go to lit. What would be nice is if this pull vector was where I wanted it to be. There we are. The sword is very dark. Okay. And fix these Oilers. Fix the curves. Turn off motion blur. So come down to the console. I'm sure you can see that motion blur happening there. So come down to the console. I don't know why it's not letting me type in there. Motion blur quality. Hit up. Type that to 0. Oh, it changed the section. I guess I hit a hotkey to set the selection range. Clear selection range. There we are. There we are. So we're spinning and striking. Grabbing our sword. Very cool. So on that strike, let's get out of lit mode. Let's have our strike come from a little bit lower. We're just going to hit hard there. And then what we want to do is bring this down a little bit. Are we holding it? It comes here, like that. Yep, I'm breaking that wrist. As soon as it lets me grab that axis, there we go. So, I mean, most video games, like, I would just say that you're probably not going to see that, and it's not worth fixing. Like, the wrist would be more like that. The fingers, let me see here. What? Let's get this here. The wrists, like you'd soften that wrist out. And the fingers would be like around there or something. But then that sword would still be going back that way. So you'd just be grabbing the sword in a slightly different way. But well, number one, we're working quickly, so we're just like breaking that wrist pretty hard. And then number two, like doing that pose fix and switching like the sword position in the hand. That is oftentimes, in my opinion, uh, not worth the effort because like all this stuff happens like so quickly in a game. Like you'd be on to the next action already. But yeah, like you could definitely polish that up if you want. I'd say like, what are your players going to notice? Are they going to notice the wrist, or are they going to notice the fact that like maybe you can't attack again and your input windows for activating the next attack aren't fast enough. So I like to take the main action and work with that. Let's keep this back over here. Whoa. Fix that oiler. I think that's feeling pretty cool. Like here, we probably have some, whoops, didn't mean to rotate that. I'll keep it. Oh, it's taking a while to like update when I select an object, when I can move keys. Oh, I see. I can't move keys unless my mouse is in the sequencer curves window, which is really interesting. That's too bad. Well, no wonder why it's taking me a while, because I haven't moved my mouse down. I'll have to look for those hotkeys. Actually, let's do that now. Let's save and save. Edit. Editor preferences. Because that's kind of annoying. Hotkeys, keyboard shortcuts. What would that be? What's that button? Jump to the next key. Once you say next key. Next frame, period, shift period. Curve editor, period. Viewport. Yeah, period. Step 2, next key, viewport, period. I wonder if there's like a hotkey overriding that somewhere. Like, not doing it. Well, if I selected view viewport, not doing it. And the curve editor, it's doing it. Need to track that down. So, trying to get that, I think I was talking about this earlier, but that line of action, it feels good. So I want to bring this down and bring these two up a little bit. Bring this down one more time. Okay. Bring this guy up. We can feel that elbow. So bring that up. There we go. Gene. So here, if there's like another strike, we'd start working out of this attack into the next combo sequence. Cool. So let's say in frame 15, set a key here. Hero girl, where are we? Transform. That's weird. Where's the control rig? Cube. Weird. let's open up this other one and then come back. There it is. Let's set a key here. That key is all controls, which is nice. Then we're going to come here and figure out what we're doing. I want everything but one. And trash these. Start working into this next pose. Create a new breakdown here. Grab this one. Set a key there. Bring this arm up so it can drag a little bit. Having trouble selecting stuff. Can be kind of hard to see these controls. Maybe I would have, I'm not thinking about this like linearly, I'm just thinking about it in like what is the key in the pose that I want to work on first? Or like what is the idea that I have first? And I think that's okay. Like you don't have to go like, oh, frame one, then the next key, the next storytelling key on say 15, and then 23. So it's like I might have potentially leave this on this side of the head. Where's my clavicle? Bring this back over here. Pull vector, bring that back over here. And get that elbow out of the head. I do like the idea of that potentially coming back over the head. And we'd be rotating this way then. Maybe the elbow leads and the sword drags. I want to get a better silhouetted pose, but it might just be better to get the sword up here. And that sword is coming across here, like we originally had it. Bring that over. Bring the elbow over. Start pointing the sword that way, because it's going to start dragging across when we pull. So that doesn't look good. Oh, that might be why. That'd be helpful if those are fixed. That's better. There's definitely like a lot of sliding here. I think what I would want to do is move this further. Yeah, it feels better. It doesn't feel so clunky there. Keep that momentum. We're hitting there. Wait, is this rotation? Probably. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's right, I had just typed in some numbers. Let's go here. That way we're kind of speeding up through the rotation. Maybe when we land, we're not already rotating backwards, which is cool. Like, I like that. But maybe we're more forward more. So let's keep that one. I like that pose. I like the idea of the pose anyway. What we'll do, we'll push this forward from the legs, backward. We got her all cute and stuff. Let's bring these cute legs up. Even a more cute pose. Okie dokie. We're making these legs into a slightly cuter position while in the air. And this is probably going to be more out like that. Get the sword away from the body. And we're going to try to wrap up soon. Been at it for an hour. Make this sword start coming up and forward and around the head. So that's coming this way. We're moving left to right, screen left to screen right. Let's get this out of the way. We would probably be rotating over here. Our torso, probably I would have rotated like this. I would have taken that a little bit more. Let's move the head. And we're going to be coming down from this way. So, whoops. Let's get rid of this key. Didn't need to key that over there. Okay. So here. Coming say forward to backward as we're rotating. So the foot can start touching the ground there. Just to see, get this rotating this way. A little bit too much rotation in the torso. Then let's save it. And I want to try this, where is it? This pivot tool. I'm just going to grab these two here. And I've got the, what's this, the body control there? Pivot tool, edit our pivot to the one down here somewhere. Oh, whoops. Let's try this again. Select our controls. we're going to edit our pivot and change the space that we're moving this pivot in. No, did it again. Okay, select our controls. I'm misclicking big time. Huh, I didn't misclick that time. It just didn't highlight. Okay, so we're moving this down. I'll select feet. Try again. I'm gonna move our pivot down to there. We're gonna pose now. I'm gonna rotate, move. Okay, maybe that was the wrong way. Move it here, like that. Just to see what we're doing here. Don't want to rotate it around that. Let's move this pivot here. Get a more central location to rotate from. Move our character back. And then we'll rotate this way. So something like that. Perfect. So the head's leading too much there. So we would want the feet to lead. So let's get the feet over there. Okay. 1 foot. 2 foot. So let's rotate this torso. So it's kind of dragging. And we'll see how that's going to play out. That might be too much. I like the idea that she was actually starting to lead with the torso, come around. This sword, we wanted to help break that plane here. Have like a contrasted line shooting across there. We're going to bring this sword down here. And we'll drag it out like so. And then we'll do the same over here. We'll drag it a lot more. It's okay if we break stuff. You just remember, if it's your project, do what you think is best. Or just try stuff out and explore. Maybe you like it. Maybe you don't. That's okay. So, just playing around, dragging that sword. That one might be too much. Let's have it rotate some more. Like it's still coming around. Okay, let's fix these Oilers because we're going to have problems. And see the back end here. It's feeling good. Something about how that head is landing right there. So let's use our pivot tool again. I'm going to put our pivot down here. and then we'll pose it. We'll see how that plays out. So we're dragging. Oops. Let's drag it some more. Let's get this in there too. So eventually I'd want the head to, well, let's bring up the motion trail on the head, pin it. I think that's okay. We'll come around here like that. Looks like we're having problems again. Not rotating at all. I do want the motion trail, but I don't want to have it on the selected. I just want the motion trail to follow the head. So as I grab it, there we are. It's not letting me rotate. Weird. So sometimes it starts acting up. Unreal that is. Oops, I didn't want that way. See if we can undo that. There we go. Just want the head kind of rotating as if it's in a circle. Push that this way a little bit more. Then let's bring this character back over. It's a little too far over. We'll clean that up later. And then here we might want to, let's see here. Let's create a pose there. And then I think we have a pose here. What we want to do is just make this take a little longer. Then keep moving the character. And move it up a little bit more. There we go. See how that works out. Okay, so it's like she's traversing forward. I'm not sure what's going on from this frame to that one. Bunch of gimbling, probably. Let's clean that up. Hopefully this cleans it up. Okay, see if we like that now. Okay, cool. Okay, let's get rid of this motion trail. Let's get rid of these controllers so we can see what's going on. So we're jumping. We got a moment where she unsheathes the sword. And we want to make this action a little bit clearer next time. But then we want to like this pose. Let's keep this pose for a little bit longer. Not sure why I chose that one. That's not the pose I wanted. This is the pose I wanted here. Something cool about that. But mainly that's here. Let's move that up. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's where we'll leave it for now. Hopefully that wasn't too bad to follow along with. But yeah, I mean, what we're looking for is just like, can you understand what the character's doing? Not everything needs to be perfect. We're just setting up our poses and getting that base action in there. So happy animating out there. This is where we'll leave it till we come back next time. Have fun.